Drogba indirdi ceza. Snyder. Snyder gol! Allah'ım gol!
Muslera! Fernando Muslera! Golün adı Muslera!
Sarıyoglu. Drogba! This is incredible!
Hello, and welcome to episode 43 of the Lion's Den, a Galatasaray podcast done by the community for the community. From all around our $1 billion studio, I'm your host Samet. Can we get the 52,000 people in here to applaud? For my lovely fellow hosts as well? There we go. Now, my other fellow hosts, of which one in New York, America, is... Actually, I'm also promoting him. He's single, ready to mingle. He's my brother from another mother. Yasin, how are you doing, my boy? I know we discussed no intro music, but I couldn't help myself.
Listen, man, I might not be against the intro music, but I appreciate you trying to find me a girl because it's true. I am single, unfortunately. But jokes aside, I'm good, bro. I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. Most of the crew is here. What else can I ask for? We're good, man.
That's nice to hear, man. That's nice to hear. So hopefully after this episode, we'll have a lot of candidates. I mean, it's a good boy, good man, good money, got a Tesla, got Tesla stocks. So I'd say hit us in the DMs at the Lions Den GS. Or
Samet, do you know off the top
channel.
of your head? Yeah, for sure. Samet, do you know off the top of your head what percentage of our listeners are female?
1%.
What are my chances looking like? Okay. Hey, listen, I'll take my chances.
With that said, we have another boy from New York, America. Our mobster Emre, our bad boy. I think he's single as well, so hit us in the DMs.
Yeah, ladies, hit me up. You know how, you know what it is. I'm doing good. Yeah, man. I don't know what else to say. It's cold out here.
My man knows how to cook, so if you ladies are interested,
I'll make you that baked ziti, that chicken parmesan. You know,
Yeah.
that authentic stuff.
All right.
But
Well,
yeah,
then
dude.
we have our very last candidate who's single and ready to mingle. Our boy with the fact of the week, Salih. He's smart. He knows history. We got him. He's ready to mingle. Let's go.
When did this become a dating service, bro? What the hell?
I know.
It's
Samet matchmaker.
It's Kismet, bro. You know, it's Sevap. But Salih, did you have a fact of the week for us?
I mean, no, as I haven't for quite some time. I do have another fact that's more within the group. So our dear friend Mazar, who's not present here, explicitly told us to, if I can't wake up, don't call me. And guess what I did? I woke him up by calling him like 2-3 times in the morning.
Was he
I was
pissed?
really tired, but yeah. I mean, he didn't say directly to me. Of course, he just in the group, he quoted two things, like the two sentences where he says, I'm tired. If I don't wake up, don't call me. And then just said, "Sick." So I guess he's pissed.
Indirectly telling it straight to you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, I tried to do good, tried to be that one friend that does think about him, but in the end, didn't work out, so.
Yeah. Well, then we have our last host, Coach Canada. How you doing, my buddy? He's not single, so girls, sorry.
I'm sorry, huh?
That's true. Stay out of my DMs. All right. Sorry, everyone, but it is true. I am taken, but happy to be back. Next episode, I'd like some intro music of my own, if possible. I was a little left out there, but that's okay. I know I haven't been on for 2 episodes, so you must have forgot about me. That's okay. I understand.
No,
He's
honestly,
busy out catching Pokemon.
that's not it. Look,
Understandable.
I like to spice things up, you know? And Mr. Yasin, always against me.
Here we
Whatever
go,
I
here we
want,
go, here we
Mr. Yasin, like, I'm a Galatasaray fan. He's a Fenerbahce fan. I want to do soundboards.
Oh, you heard it. You see, the other week, I said this guy's...
No.
What are you going to say?
No, I just wanted to say, Like, let the listeners decide. Do you want to spice things up like me? Do you want to have fun? Do you want to be youthful? Or do you want to be boring like Yasin? Have nothing on the
Listen.
podcast and just
All
talk
right,
about
all right.
left foot,
Look,
right foot, goal.
look,
Left foot,
look.
right foot, goal.
My boys are here to back me up. I never said let's not have fun. I said let's keep it balanced. I don't want a million soundboards every other second. Keep the soundboards. I
Let
like
the
it.
listeners
But
decide. DM us.
Death,
Okay.
taxes, and Samet always shitting on Yasin. Never changes.
you listeners see this? What I have to deal with? This guy Samet always calling me out. I mean,
I mean,
they say it's
you're
okay.
not
It
helping
is what it
yourself,
is.
bud.
They say you swim in money anyway, so
Wait,
don't feel as much.
Stop.
Salih, I have okay. Aside from that, we'll continue, right? But before we continue, I have a question. I figured out last time, like, apparently, when they call in the U.S. someone Billy, apparently that's not their real name. Billy stands short for William. Did you guys like Salih? Did you know that first of all, as European, fellow European?
I mean, I think you just asked the wrong person. I didn't know about it.
You did?
I actually did.
Okay.
But I learned it like 1 or 2 years ago at most. The same with another name. What was it again?
But why though?
Something. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. Like, it doesn't really.
I've never heard that.
It's like my name is Samet, and it's in short, it's Joshua. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think Emre or Yasin can, or basically Americans can say more about it. I also know the other one. I only know it's short for Dick, but the long word is like something else.
Richard.
I don't know where you guys getting your
Richard.
information.
So
Where you
weird.
guys getting information? Like these Europeans, bro. This is not the only incident. Someone told me something about eggnog and putting cream in it, and it just made no sense to me. You remember what that was, Summit? Like, where are you finding these
I'm just
facts
saying,
of the day?
No, that was something else. In New York, the drink of New York is eggnog. And apparently you, as someone from Brooklyn, didn't know about it.
No,
Like-
it's not eggnog. You called it something else.
No, I think it's eggnog, bro.
No, we said that you're talking about eggnog, but that's not what you told us. It was something else.
I'd have to come back to that.
I promise you, we know eggnog. What you were saying did not make any
No,
sense.
I said eggnog. Hi, it's your host and editor, Samet again. Emre, I know you want to hear it. You were right. I'm sorry. It's not eggnog, it's egg cream, what I said. Now, back to the episode.
No, my friend Pat said eggnog when you asked him. Think I'm gonna forget that?
Mason, well, let's move on and say sorry for the listeners. The thing is, we've been winning so much. Like, it's good vibes. So we have other things to talk about as well. Having good vibes. Speaking of good vibes, we need all of you to be in good vibes, boys. Because we're almost breaking records in the Super League. Our 10th win in the Super League, +3 from the Turkish Cup. That's 13. So it's going good. It's going good. So good morning to all of our listeners. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are, in the car, in the gym, at home, doing chores, with your headphones on. Just listen to us, because today's podcast menu consists of news. A lot has been happening this week. We're going to discuss Giresun performance, which is our Karadeniz boy, Yasin from. So what do they call Giresun boys? Çotanaklar, Yasin?
Yes, that's correct. Ankara Messi.
All right. Yeah, no, your boy Yusuf Demir is still not in, man. He's injured.
Yeah.
They say.
He's injured. That's what they
I
say.
say he's faking it, but anyway. We'll also talk about our predictions against Ümraniyespor afterwards. So let's quickly move on to news. We almost hit 1K on Twitter. And before we start with the news, I wanted to ask you guys something about, I saw on Twitter. You all know about totems, right? Doing a totem.
Of course.
It's basically a routine where you have some certain scenarios you do every time on a game day. But on Twitter, I've seen people say, like, I've been trapped. Someone was saying, we're going to lose against Giresun. I'm like, what the hell are you saying? And I replied, yeah, no way, bro. We're going to win, die hard, like 4 or 5-0. And I found out it's like a new thing on the internet to do a totem where you say the opposite of what you want. I don't know if you guys were familiar with this. Maybe
yeah,
I'm
Umraniye,
just,
the hardest game that we'll ever play in our history.
actually, it will be harder than normal. Anyway, so just thought if you know about this or not.
We do. We have Emre, right? He does one level above. He says nothing about
Yeah,
the
he
game.
literally says
He
nothing.
literally says nothing.
Yeah.
And that's how we keep winning. So I guess that's one more powerful.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well,
Knock on wood.
okay. With that said, so let me tell this to you as a listener. Winter transfer window, a reminder to you as our listener, 12th of January 2023, it opened up and it's going to close 8th of February 2023. So that gives us still a while to do transfers in this winter period. With that said, I think is our first semi-official transfer, Kaan Ayhan. Negotiations have begun and there are rumors about his salary and if it's like an obligatory buy option or not. They're saying 600k salary for the next coming 6 months, 400k loan fee, 2.8 million euro buy option. And then, is it obligatory or not? That depends. Some people
So
say
here's the
it's
thing.
on the criteria.
From the rumors that are out there, it's saying if he plays about 50% of the games that are remaining, and for at least 45 minutes, that's one of the terms that will activate his buy clause, like, obligation to buy. And I think, I don't know if this is cumulative or if it's just one or the other, but there's another one added on if Galatasaray plays playoff rounds in the Champions League, which is the other. Again, rumors, but somewhat decent source on this one.
Yeah, indeed. And then his salary is rumored to be 1 million euro for the first year, 1.25 for the second, and then 1.35 for the third. Apparently, he was making 1.3 million euro at Sassuolo. So
that's egregious.
Yeah. Let me quickly recap also some other news points, and then we can hit on the Kaan Ayhan topic. Extensions on our youth. Emin Bayram, Baran Aksaka, Cankat Yılmaz, Emirhan Kayar, who loves to kai on the Civciv, and Eren Aydın, as far as I saw. So that's a good thing. Lots of professional contracts being handed out to our potential stars. And then we have Metehan Baltacı. This is a rumor that he rejected Ankara Gücü's bid of 1.5 year loan and a buy option. And actually, we gonna loan him out to Manisa. Maybe a bit of the same formula we did with Emin at Boluspor, right? If you remember back last season. Hamza Akman is back from injury, lads. And coming back, he scored against Karagümrük, under 19, of course. And I think that's about it in terms of news. I'm sure there is a lot more, but this is what I know. Did you have anything more?
About
I
it.
think that covers it for the last week.
Well, yeah, there's of course rumors about Mert Müldür as well, right, from Sassuolo. And PVA and Seferovic, really, Okan Buruk does not have them in mind anymore. I think he says that in the interview as well after the Giresun game. And Emre Taşdemir is not continuing. Uğur Çiftçi is not continuing, it looks like. So. And Rıza Çalınbay complaining, as always. So, in a nutshell, that's the stuff. Where do you want to hit it off with? Kaan Ayhan?
Yeah, I think that was the big one in the list that you mentioned there. I'm curious to know what you guys think about it, because I think everyone will be split on two sides when it comes to this, like two specific sides. I mean, one of them being, it's a good transfer for depth, because, obviously Khan can play center back, right back as well. So you can shift him around the back line a little bit. Player that, decent player that's played at a decent level as well, in club and national level. So I think we are missing that little bit of depth for our back line. So I think it's a good addition in that case, especially considering how much he'll cost. And then I think the other side of this that I think a lot of people will be on as well is that, while he's a good player and probably a good pickup, we don't want him to take away time from Emin Bayram, who played amazing in the last match as well, which I fear that might be the case. I fear this transfer might take a little bit away from Emin, but we'll see what happens. Personally, for me, I'm happy with it. I'm glad we picked him up for his price and his, usability in the team.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's a good transfer at all, man.
Can I just say one thing before? If you remember this guy, Kaan Ayhan, we see him year in, year out, linked with Galatasaray. And we bought him actually for 2 million almost. But it didn't go through, if you remember, because banking problems. Burak Elmaz basically up, if I recall correctly. Who was the center back that we sold to a Saudi Arabia club?
Luyendama?
No, the other one.
Icon?
Maicon, exactly.
Maicon.
His money didn't come through, so we couldn't pay Can Ayhan, so it didn't went ahead. And
Oh, yeah, we loaned Luyendama, sorry.
yeah, exactly. So, and he's at Antalyaspor right now. Anyway, beside that, it makes zero sense, Can Ayhan, to me. Like, Emin Bayram, Metehan Baltacı, I love them both. You guys know. And Emin Bayram proved it in the Giresun game as well, while a lot of bitches were complaining about him.
I can still complain about it when we get there, by the way. I think
Yeah,
you guys...
sure. We will talk about your Çotanak boy.
No, not even Çotanak. It's just Emin Bayram.
But
He's
Can
also
Ayhan-
Galatasaray is a boy, just like Yasin.
Who? Emin Bayram?
No.
Isn't he?
No.
Where is he from?
No, he looks like
I didn't know
Sivas.
that. I think he's just Istanbul. but
Yeah.
go on,
Anyway,
go on, Samet,
Can
go on.
Ayhan is what I was saying.
Anyway.
And I don't know, like he is not fit to be a starter. He's not fit to be a sub in my eyes as well. Like he's a joker. He can play center back, right back, left back, CDM. But we have those positions covered. And is he better than Emre Taşdemir on left back? No. Is he better than Emin Bayram on center back? No. Is he better than Berkan on CDM? No. So
Ali
what-
Turap, he's not better at right back either.
yeah, why do we have him? No clue. No clue. So that's my point of view on this guy.
I mean, you pretty much explained what I was going to say, but go ahead, Salih.
With me, I can see why we got him though. As John mentioned, he's flexible. We can use him on more positions. He's experienced. Look, if Abdülkerim or Nelson is out for a longer time, even though I like the idea of Emin Bayram stepping up or a Metehan or whatever, it's still more risky in my opinion than a seasoned center back who's also done it at the national team. I know our national team has been really bad as of late, but still, I don't think it's that bad. At first, I thought maybe the salary would be outrageous or the fee, but even those things I think are pretty normal. So I won't say it's like very good business, but like pretty decent. I am not really against it. It's only that he has to play for, what was it again? 45 minutes. That's a bit weird to me, but
You know why? I think we got him just so the other teams can't have him. Just to like cripple their backline, because the other teams need some Turkish players too. We're not the only team that are in need of Turkish passports. There's other teams that need them as well. Like Beşiktaş was trying to get Can Ayhan for like a whole month now, and we just copped him straight up. And I love the fact that we did it like so undercover. It's like 1 minute the news was out, and the second minute the cop came through, or negotiations.
Within 2 hours.
It's great. I love this side of Galatasaray. It used to be everyone knows what the hell we're doing inside and out.
Pictures with Abdullah and Bayram.
Abdulrahim.
Exactly.
I know. No, but
Indeed.
still, like again, I think the signing is really not bad. Also, just in case we sell a Nelson or whatever, we have someone else who can step up, and that's good to have.
There's no way we sell Nelson halfway through the season. There's no chance. That'd be selling the
Not
championship.
now. End of the season.
Not now, but in summer.
Oh yeah, okay,
perhaps.
yeah, of course you can do that.
But you can say this is a good point that Galatasaray is already planning for that and buying these type of players to cover ourselves for the future, right? So playing devil's advocate a bit, but
So opinion seems to be split. Two are kind of pro, two are not so much. But what does Yasin say?
I mean, I agree with
the
Salih,
most
honestly,
important
yeah.
opinion. Go ahead.
No,
Of
they're-
course.
we're all important. But I think it's being exaggerated, like the negative side of it. If you look at the rumored transfer fee and the salaries that's been discussed for the last few years, it was way more than what we were getting him for now. Of course, time passed. He played less minutes, so his value went down. But
No,
overall,
you know why, Yasin? You know why?
why?
Eden
Yes, tell me.
Timur, he got in that plane and then he lifted up his his pants. Oh, actually, he put it down.
Lift it down
Yeah, I don't
or
know.
up.
These days, like I don't know if it's up or down because this guy, it's
He
so
walked
massive.
into the plane with his pants down. I got it.
Exactly. And when he came at Sassuolo, that table broke down, man. And that's why. But sure, continue, Yasin.
No, I just think for the amount that we're paying, it's not a terrible deal. And I think we'll be able to make the best opinion on it at the end of the season when we see if it's actually mandatory, if it's optional, what the actual conditions are. Because in theory, I'm going to assume until then that we actually have the option if we're going to make it mandatory or not. And if we actually have that choice, then it's a great deal because his wages are basically the same as Nelson, Abdulkarim, what Marcal was before. And yeah, you can argue that he doesn't deserve, he's not going to put the same performance as Nelson and Marcal did, but those guys are also very underpaid. When we brought them, they didn't have incredible experience or a lot of European experience that now
What is this?
Kaan Ayhan does. Kaan Ayhan is coming as a Turk, so we already talked about that. I think it's an okay deal. And what is it, 3.2 million total if we actually make it official? That's like $1.5 million less than Fenerbahce just paid for Samet. And Samet's experience is like 1 year, 2 years at...
I'm not going anywhere near Fenerbahce, bro.
I'm just using it as a comparison, right? To get an idea of like, what we're paying if it's actually
I'm a
market price.
Galatasaray boy. I don't go to Fener.
Okay.
You said Samet, bro.
You gotta specify the last name, bud.
Yasin is completely off. Like he doesn't know what
Don't you
we're
know
talking
there's only
about.
2 Summets in this world?
Yes. I forgot his last name.
But that's a good point, by the way.
Akbaba.
The fee that we got Kaan Ayhan for instead of like a Samet Akaydın, I think it was.
Okay.
3.2 mil is pretty decent. It's really not bad, honestly.
And I think at the end of the day, it's showing that the team, the coach, the club wants to prioritize yabancı players in our attack. Because up until recently, I'm pretty sure that the center backs that we were rumored with were yabancı, young yabancı guys like Nelson that can have value later. And I think they realized that, hey, I'd rather spend that yabancı limit on a winger and a forward, a striker, a midfielder, because let's be honest, the Turkish options that we have in the midfield on the wings in the striker position is very limited. But you have a guy like Kaan Ayhan who maybe is not the best defender. He's very experienced. And honestly, to get by in the Super League, you don't need an incredible defender. Yes, next year, hopefully we're going to be in Europe. But this is not to say Kaan Ayhan is going to be our first choice. If you were to pick up, yeah.
Also, look at Abdulkarim Bardakçı. How many were saying like, "Oh, we got a true, Turkish defender in here. He's going to be world class." No one really thought that. They were like, "It's okay. He's proven, but we have to see."
Well, he had the stats to back him up. That's why when he first came, I didn't care because people were like, "Oh, look how much he has in comparison to Marcal," and it was like some stats were better than Marcal's and some were almost on par.
Kaan Ayhan has
Kaan hasn't been playing, bro. This guy's been on the bench since November. Also, let me make another point. He's going to be getting a lot of money for someone that hasn't played in a long time. Just the only reason he's coming, and Trabzonspor's president said it the best to, who was it? Ismail Koybaşı. You're literally here because of your Turkish status, nothing else. And that's what he's here for. And I don't want that because then you get these wage imbalances and it causes problems in the club. That's why I'm like, if it was cheaper, I'd be okay with it. But I don't like it.
But again, then to back Johnson and Yasin's point, wouldn't you rather have, for example, 2 Turkish center backs and then play just instead of Kerem all the time or Barış?
Not if it's Kaan Ayhan. I'd rather have Nelson because I trust him.
Guys, the thing is with this is I am in full agreement with Emin Bayram. I like Emin a lot, and he played really well. But my problem with him currently is I don't know what I'm gonna get out of him, because the last game before that, well, not the last game, the last cup match that we played. Yeah, but hold on. The last cup match that we played, he literally could have sold 3 goals in the first 5 minutes of the match. Just
that applies to this game too. Like I don't know how all of you guys are overlooking this. There were 3 positions, Samet.
Yes, but first of all, the positions that he endangers, I know there are a few, but this kid has like fucking honey on his balls. O kadar ballı ki never ever will something happen bad to this kid, because like I know what you mean. He makes some mistakes,
will run out.
but let him make the mistakes. Let him play. That's how he will grow, because this kid has the feet. Yeah. He can dribble. He can go forward. He can press. He can defend. And sometimes he makes those errors, which is because of experience. And give him some experience. That will be fine. I know. Just I don't want Kaan Ayhan taking minutes from my boy, Emin Bayram. I mean, all I can think of, Kaan, please come here. Okay? You're on loan or whatever. We're gonna buy you. open a Twitch channel and do Galatasaray stuff. Because he's already experienced with Twitch, so he can do that, if you ask me. Capiche?
Fransa'nın kocası. That's his Call of Duty
Samet's
name.
looking for more content to talk about on the podcast. So watch the Twitch stream and then make comments on that, like the other players' Instagram posts and stuff like that. But look, you can't trust Emin Bayram as your first center back for the next 6 months after you bring Icardi, you bring Torreira, you bring all these incredible players, and you have Erdin Tumur saying we're going to be champions this year. We spent all this money. We brought this is the best team that we've had in the last 10 years. The next best team
I felt like turned on.
is maybe the Drogba, the Schneiders, the Melos, the Selçuks with the X. That was the next best team, if maybe better than this one. And you can't waste that, and you can't risk this team's championship success because you want to give a 19-year-old kid who you think is Balla the first choice option as a center back after Nelson and
Making it sound bad.
Abdulkarim.
Yasin, Yasin, how can you trust Kaan Ayhan then? Because he's not any better.
I don't think
I
you can trust. You can't
Kaan.
trust
I
either
trust
one.
Kaan more than Emilio.
Yes, that's it. You can't trust either one as much as you do Abdulkarim or Nelson. Fine, that's not what we're saying here. We're saying if you're gonna pick between a 19-year-old who has shown many times on a consistent basis that he is getting away with multiple bad positioning in the game, or you're gonna trust Kaan Ayhan, who's 28 years old, who has experience in the Bundesliga, Serie A, and the national team. Maybe he's prone to mistakes too, but who are you going to put your money on?
Emin, the guy who's playing.
I completely disagree. If you watch the Giresun game in the first half and the 20 minutes after that, there were 3 positions where Emin Bayram could have cost us multiple goals because his positioning is off, his communication is off. Okay, his communication with Nelson would get better if they play more, but this is not the time for that. I'm not saying don't play the kid. He can if he's still better than Kaan Ayhan in training, you play him.
There's a reason Kaan is benched too, because he's like insanely prone to mistakes. That's the and Sassuolo is like
I don't watch
one
Sassuolo.
position. Yeah, they're like one position above relegation or something like that. He got benched because of how mistake prone he is.
We don't know if that's the only reason though. We don't know who his competition is. I don't watch Sassuolo, and I don't think any of you guys do either. I don't know what maybe he doesn't want to be there anymore, so they're saying, why are we going to risk him? You think Çağlar Soyuncu is worse than the 2 center backs at Leicester right now? He's better than both of them, but he doesn't want to be there. He didn't want to sign a contract, so they benched his ass. That could be something similar. I'm not saying it's the same, but it could be a similar idea where the dude doesn't want to be there. Maybe it could be multiple things. I just don't. I don't see
this is
anything
why I'm saying
factual
because
here.
it's not that I watched it, but this is from people that analyzed Kaan Ayhan saying, look, this and this is why, or could be the most potential reason he's not playing. And one of the reasons were he was making tons of mistakes game in and game out before he finally got benched, and then he hasn't played since. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think he's prone to mistakes. Sometimes we've seen on the national team. But that's also how he feels there. Sometimes a player doesn't want to be where they are and they're more prone to mistakes. They change their environment, they change their teammates, the people that they work with, the people that coaches them, and all of a sudden this player did a 180 and they're worth 10 times more than they were 2 months ago just because they feel more comfortable. You see this in every single sport, you see this in your everyday life, the company that you work for. So I'm trying to be optimistic. I get the concerns, but I think it's being blown out of proportion. Do I think 3.2 million is still maybe too much? Maybe, but we'll decide that after 6 months to see if that actually comes into fruition and to see how Okan Buruk actually coaches him and how he actually utilizes him.
Yeah.
So I think the criticism is a bit harsh to begin with. I get where it's coming from, but come on, I gotta stay optimistic. We gotta stay optimistic, man. That's all I'm saying.
It's easy to play the optimism card. I'm just trying to be realistic with this. It's like not something
sure.
we need.
Spitting facts, Yasin.
I don't think anybody's
see your
saying
point.
he's the best transfer in January that we could have ever asked for. I don't think anybody's saying it's an absolute steal. I don't think anybody's saying he's going to take the starting position role, but it's not terrible. It's not maybe great, but it's definitely not terrible like some people make it out to be.
We have the
That's
control.
all.
We have the control, right?
My teams control the games.
And I trust Okan. It comes down to that for me. I trust Okan Buruk and what he's going to do.
All right. We will see, I guess. I just hope he won't take any minutes from Emin Bayram. And if he does and he messes up, I'll be sure to hunt you down, Yasin.
Listen, I'm not making any guarantees here. I'm just saying, you know,
Look at Yasin always going the safe route.
I'm just saying, you know, there's a
So
possibility
political.
that you guys. No, I'm just trying to stay optimistic. That's all.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
It
to the
doesn't
next
hurt to have another Turk there.
topic.
Yeah. What do you guys think of all the youth professional contracts and then like compared to Burak Elmas? Oh my God! Can you think
It's a
about
special. Can you
like-
take it off?
who? Emre?
I think this is special.
No, bro. We've talked a lot about Burak Elmas, and I told you all how bad his management was. He wasn't a good company man. Like Dursun Özbek, when he was being announced as a candidate, I said a donkey doesn't hit his head twice, and I also said that Dursun Özbek actually can manage a team. But Burak Elmas, bro, he's like an assistant coach.
I was getting so much shit for
Yes,
shitting on
man.
him, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's like Selçuk İnan, also won't be successful in his career.
Oh my God.
Shits on such.
What a spinner.
Bro, I mean, it's just, you know, these types of people, they're not born leaders. And to manage things, you need to be born leader. And not forget about the youth. Like Emir Tintiş escaped already to Karagümrük. Like a few others as well. Luckily, this Dursun Özbek team with Erden Timur has done some good work extending
Yeah, fuck Dursun Özbek.
our youth players. Emin Bayram, Baran Aksaka, Emirhan Kayar. So these guys are really doing well under 19.
You know,
under
he
17.
learned his mistakes because if on a lot of money because his contract was so short and they didn't extend it, and we only got money because Ozan Kabak said, "Listen, I'm not coming
he was
until
a good
you get."
Galatasaray boy.
Yeah, so I guess you guys are right when he said that. You know, he did learn from his mistakes. So kudos to Mr. Özbek.
Yeah, indeed. Yağlı surat demeyelim artık herhalde. Ayıp
Yani
oluyor
he
adama.
cleaned up.
Aynen. Any points on that? And the youngsters as well?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Happy birthday to Baran. He was going out on dinner
Birthday, Baran.
today. I saw.
Yeah, with his lady friends.
Ya
Good for him.
götü bokunu görüyor musun ya? Adam koca adam olmuş ya. Neyse.
There's one thing that I wanted to put out there before we move on. So there's a new, I don't know if people know about this, but the MHK leader, or the president, had stepped down and a new one has taken their place, Lale Orta. So you guys, some of you guys might know her. She's from BN. She does these refereeing, you know, like discussing the decisions through a game with two other people. And she is now the president for MHK.
Okay.
So what do you guys think about that?
Do you know her assistant?
Who's her assistant?
Mr. Kafa Gol. Lale Orta. Kafa Gol.
You gonna put that soundbite in?
Yeah.
That just boggles my mind.
Anyway, yeah, so there's a lot of conspiracy or not controversy within the community because she's apparently a part of Fenerbahce University. She is like she's on the advisory board. She's a very big Ali Koç fan, and she even deleted her Twitter because of how many posts that she liked that was related to Fenerbahce. And so, yeah, this is going to be a interesting stretch of 5-6 months from now. I should say 5 months.
Yeah, definitely some sus news out there, but fortunately, for what it's worth, she actually has quite a bit of experience in the whole refereeing industry. I think she's one of the first women referees in the world, you know, like the first batch, I should say. I think she has a PhD in refereeing. I didn't even know that was a thing. So hopefully she uses her experience for everybody's good rather than a bias towards any one specific club. But of course, you know, you got to remain skeptical. That's hard to believe in Turkey and our football nation over here. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's a hard thing, man. Welcome to Turkey, right?
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Salam alaikum, my friend. Salam alaikum. Chim bom bom. Bye. Chim bom bom.
Yeah, not in this case with this MHK president. All right. Anything else, boys?
I think that's about it as far as like the big news goes.
Jeez, we're 30 minutes in already? Damn. All right. Maybe we can talk about the game. Coach Canada, you want to...
That's my cue.
Yeah? Do you want a jingle? Shall we do like a special jingle for you?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Man with
That'd
his
be good.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. Coach John, bringing you now. The Giresun Sport Analysis. Analytics.
If you had this jingle ready, why did you not just give me the intro music? You had it ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. Cut the music. Let's get into it. Serious talk. Big business here. This was round 21, which this is going by kind of fast, by the way. But anyways, round 21 of the Super League. We were away to Giresun. This one finished 4-0, raining goals, as everyone knows. We'll go through the starting 11, which had small changes, I think. Muslera in goal, of course. Sasha Boy, Victor Nelson, Emin Bayram stepping in for the suspended Abdul Karim. Leo Dubois, left back. Torreira, Oliveira, Mertens, Kerem, Barish starting in place of Rashica, and Icardi, of course, up front. We'll get into a few of the match stats. Possession finished 57% for Galatasaray, 43% for Giresun. Shots were 17-13 in favor of Galatasaray. And we had an XG of 2.47 compared to Giresun's 1.67. And funny enough, after the conversation we just had, Emin Bayram was our highest rated player with
Look at
8.3
that,
rating.
Yasin. Look at that.
Yeah, funny enough, he was the highest rated, which I think he did play a good game as well. But anyways, we'll just go through the, I guess, sort of highlights of the match, and then we'll just start discussing. So I guess first big moment came in the 45th minute. We won a penalty after Icardi was stepped on in the box. He missed the penalty even though I think it was a good penalty. It was an amazing save, but that was the chance to put us up 1-0. Fortunately, just a minute or two later, Mertens scored to put us up 1-0 to finish the first half 1-0 for Galatasaray. And then in the 60th minute, Leo Dubois scored an absolute rocket into the top right corner of the net. Kind of unexpected, a little bit surprising. That was amazing to see. Icardi did get the assist there, though. The third goal came in the 88th minute, Rashica. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was his first league goal for us. And then in stoppage time, Yunus scored a great goal as well to complete the 4 goals against Giresun. So those were the highlights in the match. Where should we start? What do you guys think? What do you want to get into first? Emin's performance, maybe?
Just the score in general.
I think Emin's. Sorry, Salih. Just because we were just recently talking about it and it's fresh. Right. What do you guys think?
I prefer not to speak.
What do you get?
Really, I prefer not to speak.
I'm not speaking, boys.
I prefer to say nothing.
I'm not speaking.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble, and I don't want to.
Okay, Jose. All right.
See, this is what I mean. Who wants to take over?
Okay, look. Let me say this. Thank you, Jose. Thank you. Let me say this. I think Emin Bayram did put in a good performance. I think he was pretty solid. But again, it's just the point that I made a little while ago. I don't know what I'm going to get from him. Am I going to get a performance like this or a performance like in the cup match? And because of that uncertainty, is that Jose chiming in again?
I prefer really not to speak.
Thank you,
Samet,
Jose.
look at Samet bullying people with a soundboard. Look at this. Can't even finish a sentence.
Thank you, Jose. With all due respect, I can't consider you as a credible source anymore after the comments you made about Kim Min-jae. But thank you for thank you for your comments. I'll kindly ask you to leave the conversation now. Thank you, Jose. But yeah, good performance. I don't know what I'm going to get out of him though. So that's kind of the whole discussion. I don't know what you guys thought. I think Samet thinks he had a good performance. But what do you guys think?
He doesn't prefer to speak.
I prefer not to speak. Because if I speak, I'll be in big trouble. Right, Samet?
I prefer not to speak.
All right, so I'll speak, okay? Fine. Okay, Emin Bayram is good in certain things. He's good, like one-on-one challenges, but sometimes he just gets crossed easier than a traffic cone, okay? Like, it's so easy to get past him sometimes, and that's my biggest concern. If the wingers are good, like, I don't know, if Boris Sainz was on the right wing instead of the left wing going against Sasha, I think he would have had a much easier time. I don't know why he didn't switch and stay there more often. But again, when we talk about our general game plan, I don't think we played a good game. Like, no one will come out and say this is probably one of our top 5 performances, even though the game ended 4-0. We had a lot of issues with finding the strikers, like especially Bush Opad. I will reiterate this again. I don't think this kid was born to be a winger. He's definitely a striker in my book. He just has the physique, he has the speed, and he can finish, but he just cannot pass. He has like zero vision. He's like a one-trick pony, and I think we need to start playing him in the striker role or like in a 4-4-2 along with Icardi, something. Because when he's in the winger role, we miss out on so much vision and so much
He's like
scoring
Stevie Wonder going
opportunities.
forward.
Exactly. Man, like I would rather see Yunus play it. So that's my biggest concern. Otherwise, we did pretty well. We didn't really give them a lot of opportunities in the first half. I'll give him that. I mean, still did decent enough where he did stop a lot of attacks. But then the second half, I think John is talking about where he was getting pelted left and right.
He got spun like a few times.
Yes, exactly. The second half, like attack wise, Galatasaray will always find the goals. That's what I'm convinced of. Because like they always gave me that thought, that feeling inside. Like even if they scored twice, tie the game, we'll find another somehow, some way. And we did that. We finished the game off just when we thought we were gonna buckle down and maybe this is gonna be a 2-1 game. No, we found the goals, and I'm happy we found it. But this wasn't our best game, and I think going forward we'll see some changes on the wingers, and that's probably why, like John said, we're trying to get more foreigners to be playing up front because I think it was Yasin as well.
Yasin,
our pool of Turkish players up front is just not cutting it. Because we're going to need that extra skill, that extra oomph, the performance going down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Salih, what were you going to say?
What I was going to start with is actually the same as what you just said. I don't think the score reflects our performance. Like a 4-0, if you just only watch through your phone, you would say, oh, we played really well. But first half was definitely better. But the second half, even though we scored 3 times, I do feel like we were more switched off compared to the first half. And I don't know what it was down to. Maybe it's due to, if I may say, Oliveira not also really being on it, or wingers both being kind of, especially Barish. I think Kerem also wasn't as good, but at least he had a few nice through balls to Icardi, who then, of course, because he's
you almost
world-class,
assisted him,
something. Exactly. But I don't know, weird game. I'm just really happy with the score, with the points. So maybe I'm too privileged, shouldn't complain too much, but the performance just wasn't really.
You mentioned Oliveira, man. I gotta agree. Like, this was probably one of the worst games I've seen from Oliveira since he came to us.
Yeah, just too slow with everything. Just not on it, not sharp enough.
Is that surprising to you guys? I mean, I feel like he's just been on a downward trend for the last 3-4 games. I criticized it. Okay, you can tell me why you disagree after, but I mean, he's just slower to challenges. He doesn't have that hustle. And I think that's what this game came down to as well, from a performance standpoint, not the score. The score we already see. It looks like we dominated. But Giresun came to this game wanting to win. And I said it last week when we talked about predictions. I said, Giresunspor know that they can beat us because they've done it before. The fans know they can beat us because they've done it before. They were all confident. They were all cocky on social media. They came to this game saying we're going to win at home, and they played like it for the most part from a hustle perspective. The quality difference is night and day. That's why we won 4-0, because we had that quality and they didn't. But they put in a much better effort from center back to striker than we did, and that's what gets games close. And I think that almost took us off guard, or did take us off guard, which is why they found those chances. Don't let the statistics, prove otherwise. Yeah, I think they didn't even have a shot on target in the first half, but they came. They just, because they sucked from a skill perspective, they couldn't get a shot on target.
They were missing players, by the way, as well.
They were missing players.
3 players, I think.
They had multiple positions in front of our goalie in Muslera. They just butchered it. One time they ran into each other. Another time they skied an easy opportunity. There was one position where Emre Baydam committed, completely lost his player. They came. I think it was called offsides, but it wasn't even offsides. Do you guys remember that? I think it was in the first half. And if they scored that, it would have went straight to VAR and they would have gave the goal, but they didn't have the skill to finish it. Those goals could easily turn games around. Those goals could easily have us shut off mentally and lose games that we should not be losing against Giresun with all the injuries that they did have. So that was concerning. I give it to the fact that we're just winning so many games in a row where the players are getting confident. They're getting maybe cocky, borderline cocky. Maybe they're saying, hey, this is an easy game. That's what I'm concerned about, because the competition is not that far behind us. Even though we've won 10 games in a row now, people are right there. Beşiktaş is doing well. Fenerbahçe is winning their games. I'm afraid that, we're switching off. And you start to see it. I'm curious how Okan Buruk is going to react in the future, but I think we definitely need more hustle. I don't know what you guys think about it from that perspective.
I have one, I guess it's sort of a counterpoint, sort of. But one thing that's happened to us over the last 10 games is one of the most dangerous things in a positive way that can happen to a team. And that's creating a habit of winning and making winning a habit. And when you have that, even if you play poorly, and like Giresun might have played better as a whole, a team effort, it might have been better, but they won't win. And that'll happen against other teams as well. We've literally just made it a habit. And that's one of the most dangerous things. It's so hard to stop teams that do that. And I think that's happened to our team now. So as of right now, I think we seem just so unstoppable. We're just scoring so many goals, barely conceding goals. The chemistry is off the charts. It's crazy. The way that the players vibe with each other is just, I haven't seen this in such a long time. It's amazing to see.
It speaks volumes when you look at the subs, right? Rashica came on, Yunus, and they just banged him in. Of course, Rashica did have a misser. I'd also have to mention that, like a one-on-one. But still, that's what John says, like the champions type mentality that there is right now. Like players just turn up. Even if they're bad, they still turn up in a way. Makes
Exactly, yeah.
You know what's really telling of what John just said about the vibes and the chemistry? One of our subs, Yunus Akgün, came in the second half towards the end, and he scored. Very nice goal. He scored, and what did he do right after? He ran in a little circle, and then he's like, okay. He ran straight to Kerem, who, the two were competitive, but also friendly early in the season. We were talking about who's going to be better, and he ran to him, gave him a hug, and it's like, wow, like, that's what you do. You haven't scored in a long time. You got injured. You were out of form. You score and you run straight to the guy who's actually taking your minutes in a competitive way, and you hug him. And it's what, 3-0 at the time? No, he scored the fourth goal. And then after the game, if you listen to what Yunus said,
Kerem is left wing. Yunus is right
yes,
wing.
That's true. But at the end of the day, I think, from a winger perspective, they still compete with one another, especially if you consider Rashica can play on both sides. But, after the game, he said, the vibes are so good. Everybody's friendly with each other. He was so happy, smiling from ear to ear. And that says a lot to me because Yunus Akgün has been part of this club for a long time. Whether it's at the youth level, he was always practicing with the A teams. I'm pretty sure he was even there, 8 years ago when we had the other very good teams with Melo and Schneider and Drogba. He was there to experience it all. So he's seen the stages of Galatasaray over the years. He's seen the good, he's seen the bad. And if he's saying that many good things about our current vibes, that's when you know it really is good. Not just from the outside, from the photos and videos that we see, but internally, it actually is immaculate.
Bro, they are
so
at
that
the level,
to me said a lot.
They're at a level where they can put their fingers in their butts. So that says a lot. I don't know if you've seen that training videos.
Oh,
yeah. Martin
that's actually a good point. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that the other day in training, these guys are just goofing around, laughing, picking each other up, pretending to kick each other when, they go into harsh challenges, but smiling. And then you see Martin's just
putting his finger Yunus in the butt.
Yunus? That was funny.
And you know what's there's such a nice balance, and like there's certain groups on the team that complement each other. Mm-hmm. You have the players that speak Spanish, Icardi, Torreira, Muslera,
Mata.
Mata. Yeah, Mata. Then you have the Turkish players, Kerem, Yunus, Barış, Emin. And then there's a small group of French-speaking players that also speak a little English.
Gomes.
You have Leo Dubois, Sasha, Berkan. right? And then Berkan links the Turkish group with the French group.
Yeah.
And then you have guys in the Spanish group that speak English. Like, it's crazy. It's just the team that we've built here it's amazing in so many ways.
They need to hire me, man.
And you know it's good when the Turkish players are not just with the Turkish players. Like, remember back in the day, we had like Selçuk and Burak Yilmaz used to like
Little groups.
hang out with, like
Abiler.
with the Yabancıs too, though. Like he would chill with Drogba and Schneider. They would drive the little go-karts together in training. Like I will never forget that image. But what I'm trying to say is it's not clicky. There's one click and it's the team. Berkan is speaking with everybody. You know, even our youngsters are chilling with guys like Mertens.
Speaking of that, Yasin, did you
Yeah, go
see
ahead.
how Torreira and Mertens, when our youngsters signed their new contracts, they put them
Yeah.
on their stories.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
That's huge.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah.
But I want to actually discuss a few points on the game. One annoyance I had is Rashica.
Oh, here we go.
Especially, no. I'm just
No,
saying.
I think Samet's coming from, I guess.
The
I'm
last
curious
goal,
what you're gonna
he
say,
scored
but-
a goal. Yeah, he missed one. He could 1-on-1. He missed it. Okay, sure. But that last one where Gomez was standing there all open. I mean, there's no way he could have not seen Gomez all open, and he didn't pass. And this time he scored. But tomorrow, when he doesn't, we will curse at him. We won't like it. And to me, this was like not good character, if you ask me. You have to be a team player. You have to be selfless. And sure, you scored it this time, but Gomez was there wide open. And Gomez was really disappointed. Really
This goal was
disappointed.
like +10 confidence, -5 chemistry, basically.
I know. Exactly like you said. Exactly. what you
Bro,
said.
okay, come on.
I'm curious what Emre's gonna say.
No, okay, look, it's fine in my book. Why? Because Rashica isn't the type of player that's always been a selfish person. He's always tried to assist somebody in some form of way,
I know.
but he's never gotten these opportunities to score himself. And he's a wing. He's an attacker, bro. He wants to score. Everyone's scoring. This man's been blue balled for like I don't know how long. This is his first goal throughout the whole season. Okay, we're 2-0 up. It's like game is almost over. Right? And he's like, okay, this is my chance. I need this confidence. I need this goal. Gomez doesn't need it as much as I do, right? Yes, he could have given it to him, but in the long run, I'd rather him take this and get the goal because I need to inform Rashica more than I need Gomez right now. We need these
you
wingers
took
to be
it right out
on
of
there.
my mouth, son.
Felt like
more
eggnog
turned on.
boys linking up.
That was a perfect use of soundboard, by the way, Samet. Bro, you took it right out of my mouth. Okay.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Wait, was that a soundboard or no?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Yasin,
Yasin, you gotta agree with me, I guess. Yeah.
No, that's perfect. I mean, it's 2-0. Like, and I don't even think Gomez was that upset. Samet, he was very, very upset. I mean, any striker is gonna be upset in that moment, but I didn't get the vibes where he was like
Like
"Why
he
didn't
understood,
you pass it to me?"
right? Deep down inside, he probably understood. Like, yeah, this kid needs this morale boost.
And at the end of the day, Rashica is, as much as everybody is a team player here, Rashica's trying to prove himself too. I might be stretching here, but he's also trying to prove that he wants to be a part of this team long term. I've heard rumors where he's happy here, he wants to stay. His agent is, saying this. I don't know. Again, this is not tier 1 sources, so it might be false, but Rashica's going to stay here by scoring those goals and getting his form in. And he just lost his spot to Barish.
Exactly. He wants that.
We've been criticizing him being out of form. This is how you, as a player, as a professional, make your living. You prove people wrong and you succeed.
Yasin, if
That's it.
Rashica was Dutch, Samet would fucking back him up to the end of the earth.
I prefer
Say I'm
not to
wrong.
speak.
Yeah, exactly. I thought so.
What I was gonna say about Rashica is when you think about it, he's been, he's had to face an uphill battle from the second he got here. First,
Exactly.
the first obstacle he had to get past was the foreign limit, because
Yep.
even when he joined, we were like, how the hell is this guy gonna play? There's
true.
definitely a lot of crookery going on right now. No, I can't agree with myself. There's no crookery. Listen. He had to get past that. He eventually got past it. He found a place in the starting 11. Then once you're in the starting 11, you have to prove why you're going to stay in it, right? Then when you prove that you can stay in it, now you have to convince everyone to sign you permanently from your loan, right? And that's just so difficult. So now he's, like you said, Yasin, he's lost his starting position to Bodish. So now any chance he gets, he has to prove himself, whether it's scoring, assisting. So I don't really blame him for trying to get the goal. Like he's trying to, I'm assuming he wants to be here permanently. So I guess he's trying to fight for that.
His last game also wasn't as good. He had a stinker last game. So this game to, again, just like you say, to light it up again, to prove himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's not playing in his real position though. Like most games, he was on the right wing. Isn't he a left? Like he's right-footed, right? Isn't he supposed to play on the left wing most times?
But isn't he a true winger? True wingers play with their right.
Okay,
right.
yeah, he's probably the only winger we have, like an only true winger, like Salih said. We discussed this before. Like when he's on, like Barış Alper, he's not a winger, like Emre said.
Low IQ. Nah.
Yeah.
I think Bodish has potential. Definitely that IQ,
Burak
decision
Yilmaz
making.
2.0, man.
I do think he's better
in a good way
suited for striker. Yeah, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to give up completely just yet on whether he can be a decent winger. Like I don't want to count on Bodish to just be a backup winger.
Which is
striker.
Fine. Which is fine because Burak Yilmaz was also a decent winger.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean,
earlier in his career.
No, I mean, in general, you would also, like, as a striker, you would see him shift a lot to the wings back in the days where he would take up that winger role. It was very fluid and dynamic anyway, that team.
Yeah. But before we leave this winger topic, I just wanted to mention one more thing. So when you look at our team, assuming just to make this conversation simple, it's probably not going to work out this way, but just to make it simple, let's just assume next season we'll have both Sasha Boy and Nelson in the team, right? And let's imagine we'll be playing in Europe. I don't think that Rashica is that guy for that position. I would, as of right now, I would not permanently sign him.
Not for 5 mil.
Yeah, exactly. I think to complete this team and to have a good run in Europe, regardless, whether it's Champions League, Europa League, regardless.
We need Messi.
Well, if we're talking about winning the whole
would you
thing,
have rather
but
Rashica or Onyekuru?
Rashica, actually. Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have Rashica right now. Yeah. But I think if we brought in a winger with that same quality that like Mertens, like it will be difficult, but the same quality as these guys that we have, Mertens, Oliveira, Torreira, I think will be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Like a really, really good winger will improve things a lot, even though we're already doing really well. So in the summer, if we can do that, if we can pull that off, then I think, we'll be looking amazing.
Speaking of wingers, I think the Giresun game, maybe undetected man of the game, man of the match.
War Science.
Kerem
Samet.
actually has been really good. Like in every goal, he was actually the preparation was on him, or he was involved in before the goal came. So you have to give props to Kerem. He's been flying under the radar, but he's actually been helping the team a lot, in my opinion, in setting things up and tracking back in the defense and helping in the attack. Been a lot more selfless than we've seen, and I think he's improving more and more. Is what my opinion is.
I think yes, he is involved and he's playing with a lot of confidence, which I appreciate. But he's losing the ball way too much. That's my issue lately. And to back this theory up, and I was like, okay, he loses a lot. It feels like that. I looked it up. He lost the ball 22 times versus Giresunspor. Dries Mertens lost the ball 9 times. Barış Alper at 15. Mario Cardi 8. I mean, now 22 is just too much. I get it. He's trying the most. So with that comes more risk and more comes lost balls. But sometimes it's just unnecessary. And then we lose the ball and then they come on a quick attack. I wish he would play a little bit more careful, a little bit more decisive with where he wants to play the ball. But otherwise, I agree with you, Samet. He gets the ball into the box. He looks for Icardi. He looks for Mertens. He tries to switch the ball. He's trying all the right things. I just want him to slow down just a little bit and be a bit more careful so we have the ball more often. But There's room for improvement.
Let's be honest though. You do watch Kerem. This kid is getting double teamed almost every time he gets the ball. So like in that Giresun game, he was getting like Giresun was like very like physical this game. So I can't blame him for losing that ball very often. This game, I'm giving him the pass because he got double teamed like I think 4 times that I could think off the top of my head.
I think the criticism of losing the ball is not. Of course, this game it did feel kind of obvious, but I think just in general that's Kerem's game, right? I've mentioned before as well. Like Yasin just mentioned, he lost the ball 22 times. But when you watch it, it feels like it's like 30, 35. It feels more. It's more in your face when he does these things.
It's his first touch mainly. Maybe that feels that way.
That too is off. That's a good point. I mean,
his
there's
first
a couple of
touch
times
is-
where we just lost a very good opportunity because the ball went right under his feet or he didn't one time shoot it. So definitely room for improvement. Otherwise, I love his confidence.
Yeah,
He should,
definitely.
hopefully he doesn't lose that.
I have a question for you guys as well on this game. Why? Like, especially the 40th minute, there was a position of Icardi, and it was a crystal clear penalty. And still, I don't know why, the VAR said to the referee, yeah, come here and have a look. Why do every like little thing we have has to go to the VAR and has to be checked by the ref? Like, can't the guys in the back see how obviously he's being stepped on the foot? Like, why does the ref still need to go and have a look at that? Like, it was ridiculous, honestly. And I don't understand why that is. And maybe
So that's actually the rule,
Okay.
by the way.
Okay, maybe you can enlighten me. Sure, it's because it's super weird. Linked to that is like I've seen some images that I think Salih sent about positions on the Giresun game, and you have some referees that then say it needs a penalty, it's an offside or not, and it seems Lale Orta, together with the assistant Kafagol, have been saying all the decisions have been against Galatasaray basically. If you look at all the images.
So what's the rule? What's the rule, Yasin?
Yeah.
Oh, so with the penalty, right? So if the ref doesn't call the penalty or he doesn't see it, and then he's being stopped by VAR that it might actually be a penalty, I'm pretty sure, like 95% sure that the VAR can't just be like, hey, it's a penalty, call it there on the spot. He can't do that. They have to call the ref to the VAR for them to, like the VAR could be 150% sure it's a penalty. It's still the referee's decision on the field to make, it's their choice to make that decision or not. So the responsibility is put on to the referee to make that decision. Same thing, there's other weird rules too, like a yellow card. If the yellow card is completely wrong, the VAR can't be used. But if it's a red card, then the VAR can be used. So there's very weird nuances to when VAR can be used and what decisions they make. Offsides, for example. If there's a clear offsides, VAR can make that decision and the ref doesn't need to look at VAR. So I don't know every single rule in detail, but there are nuances like that. And in the situation that Samet mentioned, it does sound crazy in theory, but that's just the rule that there is. Yeah.
Mm. I guess that makes sense. And also, like, when the ref went over to the monitor, he took like 2 seconds. He looked at it like once and turned around and immediately said it was a penalty. Yeah. So
as long as they're going to VAR, I don't care, bro. Remember, it took them 12 weeks to go to the first VAR check for on our behalf. You know what I mean? So what pissed me off is like Nelson had to go to the referee and tell him, "Look, you should go, or whatever. Don't start the game." And Icardi had to literally
stay on the ground.
Icardi was smart about it, bro. He was smart about it, because otherwise these guys don't go and check our reviews on VAR. So that's what I'm happy about. Finally, our guys know the game.
No. Any other positions, lads?
Well, let's talk about Dubois.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna bring that up. That was the last thing I was gonna mention. You can go ahead, Emre. Take it away.
Well, to be honest, I'm just happy we have someone that's competent enough to play on both wings. And dude, this guy is so smart. He's so talented. Like he said that he just saw the pass coming and he's like, I already knew where to shoot, and he took the shot. It's just finally we have someone that just knows how to shoot from outside the box. Because last time the goal that he scored is like straight out of Mariano's playbook, except it's the other side. Or it says like if it was in a different universe, you know, that's like literally 1-for-1 type of goal. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really happy with Dubois. I think it's a very good transfer.
Such a steal too for like, what was it again, 2.5 mil?
Yeah, and he's not even that old either.
He's 28, like right in his prime. He can play on both flanks, and remember he's playing out of position. He hasn't played left
out of
back
position.
before. It's crazy that he's still doing this much work.
Again, hats
on
off
the
to the board and everyone involved with these transfers. We got such good steals like Dubois and Torreira, man. I don't know. Hopefully they can pull some more off.
Hopefully he can break more tables.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are opportunities, right? So Leo Dubois is not, normally he's not a $2-3 million player. He's worth way more than that. He was a French international, but we saw an opportunity arise where he was out of form. He was apparently causing issues, which blows my mind to believe because he's such a obedient guy. Like he's a professional. He works hard. Like he got that goal because Kerem stole the ball. He went up the field and Dubois had, the mind to be like, all right, let me follow this through in case the ball just gets deflected to the 18-yard box somehow and he can finish it. And before he got that ball, like you said, Emre, he knew where to finish it, where to shoot the ball. A lot of players that don't have the highest IQ, they're thinking, okay, I'm going to get this ball, I'm going to shoot. I'm going to get this ball, I'm going to shoot. But they don't say, I'm going to get this ball, and I'm going to find the far post where the goalie is not expecting the ball. That's what Dubois did, and he had the skill set to put an absolute beautiful shot in. I mean, he was really happy. I think that's his first goal, like on a professional career in like a few years, right? So good for him.
The thing with this goal is him playing out of position actually worked to his benefit because he's playing on the left side. He was able to receive the ball on his right and make the shot on his right, if you know what I mean. That's why Mariano's shot, he was playing on the right side. He had the ball on his left. He had to shoot it on his left, right? So that angle he had was perfect. If he was playing on the right, he wouldn't have had that same angle. So that worked out really well. But I'm just so happy with Dubois. Like he's just, if God forbid anything happens with Sasha, we have Leo Dubois. He can play on the left as well, which I don't think he's put in a bad performance on the left either. Like he played there against Fenerbahce as well, and I thought he played pretty well for the most part. Yeah, there might have been a few moments where he was a little shaky, but really can't complain. And just such a smart player.
Risks.
No, yeah, and like it always seems like he's down for the team. It always seems that. It always seems like he's just a winner. I think it's just
he's a ride or die.
Yeah, man. I think after the 100+ cap or 100+ appearances for Lyon, he's just, I don't know. He's a professional, man.
He's not
just
empty.
Total professional.
Yeah, very good to have, especially with again Oliveira not being at his best. I mean, Bayram, Leo Dubois in general, very solid performance. I never really felt how should I say it, in fear that he does something stupid, if you get what I mean, compared to like Van Aanholt or whatever.
I'm so glad he's gone. Bob, one thing I've since you mentioned that Dubois goal, the thing about that, I don't know what you guys think about, but I saw a lot of people complaining that there was a potential foul because the way we got it was the guy was taking a free kick and Torreira was like literally right up his ass and he put a hand to his back apparently. But again, his own teammate fouled him before that. Like he got in his way, like actually stopped him from taking the free kick. Right? So, and people are saying that, oh, it's a rule mistake and should have been repeated. Right, exactly.
That was just a dumb free kick. Like he kicked it just poorly, and I think
simply,
Kerem who intercepted it, right?
Yeah.
And then the goal came.
Like simply no. I wouldn't even discuss that with someone. No. Like literally. That's so stupid. People are just looking for any little thing to complain about to try to discredit goals or no, man. That's
just
ridiculous.
Poor from Giresun. Just like the first goal too. That was I think it was Icardi again, and then just very, very bad defending by Giresun. And then Mertens was there at the right time to net it in, score the first goal. So
okay. Boys, my little girl is crying in the back, so what do you think?
It's time to wrap up then.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I wanted to say about Torreira, he's a genius. He's amazing. And we have his transfer fee. He's an Ubermensch. Like 4D chess, this dude. Like, he knows how to control the game, when to lay down. I was like, oh no, what happened? Is he injured or not? Oh no, just Torreira playing things super smart. And I just love seeing him
the game
do that.
down.
Yeah. He's just amazing.
Different
like
level player. Different level, man.
Wallah, unbelievable, man.
He almost screwed us in that game, though. He gave a really bad pass back straight to the Giresun player. He was like wide open.
Yeah.
But he has a lot of ball on his balls, too.
Look at that. So it happens the best of us, doesn't it, Yasin?
Yeah, but it doesn't happen to Torreira 3 times every time he plays. So.
I don't know, man. Anyway, what's the next game, bro? Coach Canada.
Yep, that is the Umraniye game, which is at home. And I guess we can get some predictions, maybe not from Emre, but just a reminder as well. The last time we played was on August 19th, and that was when Gomis scored at the end of the match. So typical Gomis heroics won us that one. It was 1-0. So we're at home now, totally different team now, totally different form. So what do you guys think? Samet, what's your prediction for that?
Ümraniyespor is hard, man. They've been playing very good football, actually, since the start of the season. They somehow are at the bottom of the league. No clue how that is. But their football is actually nice to watch. It's like Barcelona of the league.
Really?
If I have to compare it.
Oh,
But
wow.
unfortunately, they're at the bottom of. It's like Dominic Torrent is coaching that
Yeah,
team, man.
torrent ball. Yeah,
Exactly. But I am actually worried. But I'm just for the sake of a totem to keep doing everything as we did the past weeks, not to break this streak. I'm gonna say we're gonna smash that like button. No, we're gonna smash the goals in there. Is what I say. So 3-0.
3-0.
Icardi hat trick.
Okay.
Papi.
Oh, that'd be lovely. I can give my prediction. So I think, like Samet mentioned, this is the last place team, even though they are, if you look at their games, a lot of games they've only lost by 1 goal, like 2-1, 1-0, a lot of 2-1 losses, I think. But I have to agree. I think even though they're fighting in relegation, I think they're going to get smashed here. So I'm going to say 4-0.
Mighty confident, are we?
Yeah, we are.
I mean, how can you not be? They're terrible. And we're playing at home. I mean, I'm going to at least 4 goals. I'll predict like that. At least a 4 difference goal win, whether that's 4-0, 5-0, 5-1. Just looking at their recent form, I mean, goals aside, it's a 1 goal difference the last 2 games. But if you look at the statistics and how many shots that they let up 25 shots against Antalyaspor. Like, we're going to destroy them. Icardi is brewing up these goals last few games where he missed a penalty. He didn't get fed the other day. He's involved. He's going to get at least 2 goals, and we're going to destroy Imraniyaspor. And hopefully, we continue our winning streak. We should.
When you see that happening, your mouth should be salivating, like eyes fully open.
Yeah, man.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
Wait. When is this game? Is this game midweek?
Yeah,
Wednesday.
This is a Wednesday game. Yeah.
I guess I have to work from home Wednesday, but
Of course.
Damn.
Salih, what's your prediction, bro?
I share the same opinion as Samet, as in, okay, I don't see them as the Barcelona of the league, but they do definitely underperform if you look at the metrics of how they play.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll still win. Let's put that, as a first. I think we'll still win. However, I don't think it'll be a smashing. I don't think it will be like a 4-0, 5-0. I think we'll win, but it's going to be a classic
2-1 Saray.
Yes.
Vintage.
Very vintage. That's been our scores lately at home as well, except for Hatay when we smashed Wokan.
4-0.
And apparently got banned for, I don't know what reason again.
I mean, don't forget the team that we smashed before that 3-0, Fenerbahce. So
And before that, the 7-0.
yeah, and then 4-0 last week. I mean, it's either 2-1 or a smashing. And
Yeah, that's true.
This is not a 2-1. I promise you, it's not going to be 2-1.
But the
Whoever
smashings have been
Fenerbahce
mostly away, though. Mostly away. At home,
No, they should make
somehow-
everyone. That's Fenerbahce, coaches of every team. Then we'll smash every team.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically 2-1, so that's what I'll say. We'll win 2-1.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, huh?
I know Emre prefers not to speak, so
I prefer not to speak.
exactly. So I guess that's it.
Okay. Then who wants to do the outro?
All right. You got me. I'll take it from here. Thank you again, everyone, for listening. Almost at the 50 episode mark, which is unbelievable. Almost 1,000 followers on Twitter as well. If you're listening and not following us, give us a follow on Twitter at the Lions Den GS, on our other socials as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate everyone for listening.
Yeah. Yasin, I love you, man. I'm sorry.
Love you too, man.
Being so hard on you, man. Love you. See you next
okay.
episode.
It's all love.
Prepare,
See ya.
okay?
I do.
Love you. Bye. Love
Peace.
you all.
See you,
Bye.
boys and girls. Bye-bye.
See. Woo.